Hello everyone and welcome to Inspiring Best Living, where we talk about wealth creation, wellness and well-nourished soul. My name is Remi Wesley Ogude. I am your regular host, and today I am very glad to be back and to bring you another episode on wealth creation. Today, specifically, the topic is Stop Poverty so it doesn't stop you. World population today is approximately 8 billion, and the statistics also indicate that about 3 billion live in poverty. So we have about 40% of the people in the world living in poverty. The statistics is staggering and heartbreaking, isn't it? It is, because of the devastating consequences of poverty. I will consider some of these consequences in this episode. Oh, I want us to first look at what poverty is. Poverty is a state of being poor to the extent to which someone does not have money sufficient to afford basic needs of life. Needs that are basic, like food, clothing, shelter. People are poor today that you can't even imagine. They can't even afford 3 square meal. They have to depend on people for daily living. That is what poverty is. I'm going to look at 3 categories of people who struggle with poverty. The first category are the people who are born into poverty. It's not their making. That's where they find themselves as they came into this world. They came and they were raised in a very poor background, and they have to live with that except to do something different. Sometimes some of these people will have to perpetuate this poverty because they know no better. That brings me to the second category. That's the category of people who struggle with poverty because they are ignorant of what to do. How do they begin the journey of wealth creation? They have no idea. They are born into poverty and they have perpetuated the poverty. Second category, those who are ignorant about what to do. The third category are those who indulge in some behaviors that have not allowed them to create wealth. They have the potential, but their behaviors, sometimes irresponsible behaviors, sometimes laziness, sometimes they are just reckless in their lives. Some are addicted, every smokers, every drinkers, that some are even addicted in some of these things, drug, smoking, alcohol, that when they get to work, they cannot function properly. So they keep losing their job because of their inability to function, just because of their behavior. That's the last category of people who struggle with poverty. So I want us to quickly look at the different causes of poverty. When we talk about poverty, why is it that some people are poor? And we'll talk about what they can do to be able to come out of poverty, or to eliminate, or what can be done to eliminate poverty. The first thing is that some people have poverty carryover, like I've mentioned. They are just born into a poor family. It's not a choice they have control over, and except they do something, they might have to perpetuate this poverty. The second one is the people I talked about that indulge in some poverty promoting behaviors, like I've mentioned before. Those who have different addictions, negative addictions that are not allowing them to make a headways at work. So those ones keep losing their job. The third one are those who have poverty mindset. These people just believe that they can't be better than who they are. They just give excuses. These people who have poverty mentality or mindset, they don't see reasons to improve their skills, to improve on themselves, to go for training. Some of them are just laid back. They just feel that there's nothing to do to improve on their skills. And they remain poor like that, and they enjoy their position as being poor. The other third category are those who engage in poverty promoting jobs. Guys, there are some jobs that are poverty promoting, and I will explain what I mean. It's not that the employers position the employees to be poor, but the nature of the work. Some of those works are very, very heavy on the body, tax the body. You exert so much energy that you are left with no energy as once you finish the job. Another thing is that sometimes it can involve so much long hours that to even have a break is hard. And also, By the time you finish such jobs, you are so fatigued. Such jobs can drain your mental capacity that you have no space to even think, even after you finish. By the time you are done that job that day, you are totally exhausted. So those are poverty promoting jobs. And it all depends on how people handle it. Sometimes some people are able to engage in this kind of work and they stay able to. But for the most part, a lot of people who engage in these poverty promoting jobs find it hard to combine any other thing with it. But in some cases, some people are able to still do this kind of job and do other things. But those people are not many. So it's so important for us to know the kind of job that we take so that it won't keep us perpetually in poverty. So what are some of the consequences of being poor? Number one, it promotes crime and immorality. When people are poor, they just want survival. That's why you see some people take into prostitution, some take into some habits and behavior. They just want to do anything to survive. Some take into theft, stealing. Some will manipulate figure so that they can get entitled to certain things just because they know normally if they don't falsify figures, they won't be entitled to it. So there are so many things that people do just in the name of money. And if somebody is poor, such people can engage in such behavior. The other thing poverty does is that poverty does not allow someone to reach his own full potential. You see so many people who will have ended up being lawyers, doctors, engineers, or directors, head of government parastatals, who end up being cleaners, who end up being what they are not meant to be, just because at the time they were ready. They are very brilliant, but there's no money to continue their education. So they had to stop maybe at the level of primary school or even high school. So it does not allow someone to reach his potential. There are parents who want to sponsor their children to school who cannot afford the tuition. So what can the student do? The child may just go into any manual labor to survive. That person's destiny can be trapped at that junction. So the other thing it does is that poverty reflects poorly on family, marriage. A lot of statistics, we have empirical evidences or statistics showing that a lot of family problems and domestic problems are arising from finance. People are always constant struggle about finance in the home. So poverty does not allow, in some cases, marriage, families to thrive. The other thing poverty does is on our health. People sometimes are sick. They cannot afford medical bills. They can't afford some of the things they need to do for their treatment plan. So they are stuck. They are sick. They have to be running helter-skelter to look for help to be able to get finances, to be able to treat themselves. Also, poverty will reflect poorly on people's health. If they cannot eat well, they cannot shelter well. Poverty will allow people to expose themselves to works they should not do, hazardous work, just because they do not have option. They just engage in any work to survive. Those are some of the devastating consequences of poverty. There are so many other ones, but I will just limit it to those ones I've explained before I quickly look at things we can do to eliminate poverty. The first one I want to talk about is poverty carryover. What can you do if you find yourself in that situation? Maybe you are born into a family that is poor and you want to rise above that level. You want to be able to help other people. It can be done. All you need to do is train if you can. Get started by reading, listen to podcasts, conferences. Some of them are online. Enroll in some of those free courses. Hear for people who are wealthy, listen to them. Some of them also start from a very poor background, poor family, and they have risen. People like Steve Jobs, people like Bill Gates. You can hear their stories, can be inspiring. Sometimes connecting with them, hearing their story, reading their book can begin to change your mindset, even though your background is poor, but you can do something about it. Do nothing strategy is not a winner's strategy, as I often tell us on this platform. So when you do something about it by starting, you can begin to take giant step. About poverty mindset, this is just a mindset. One can also overcome that problem by improving, reading, listening to people that can help you, can inspire you. Hearing their stories can also inspire you to want to become somebody who is wealthy. So you have to do a lot to change your poverty mindset. You have to improve on your skills. If you know that you are where you don't want to be, you want to climb the corporate ladder, you can enroll for training, you can attend conferences, you can begin to network with people who are already wealthy. You can go for their masterclass programs and begin to learn from them. The third one are those people who indulge in poverty promoting habits. I have mentioned before some of these habits. Maybe you are struggling with addiction and you have had to be laid off from your work. You can begin to deal with those addictions. Maybe it's in drug, maybe it's in smoking, other things, or maybe it's in drinking and it has cost you your job severally. You can begin to seek for help, seek for mentor, seek to work with people who can help you, therapists, and see how you can quit some of this behavior. You can even have mentor who can handhold you, somebody who has been through that same experience, who has been liberated, who can tell you what to do. You can begin to hang out with good friends who can also rub off on you positively. Those are things you can do. If you have struggled with poverty promoting habits, or if it's been laziness, you need to just wake up and begin to take actions that can help you to be engaged, to work harder than you have been doing before. The other one is those who are engaged in poverty promoting jobs. When I talk about poverty promoting jobs, I give examples, jobs that leave you with no energy after you are done. Job that does not even allow you to even think after you are done. By the time you finish the job, physically, mentally, you are drained. And it keeps on and on from day to day, weeks to weeks, month to month. That is not a good way of creating wealth, because like somebody said, that he that works all day will not have time to make money. And another person also said that he that is involved in a job that will suck life out of him cannot make money. Sucking life out of you includes taking your energy, taking your ability to think. So what you can do is to begin to think, how can I exit from this job? What are the other options? I'm not saying quit right away, but you can begin to give yourself timeline, maybe 5. You want to live in another 1 year, begin to apply to another job, begin to do other things by the side. If you can look inward, there are certainly things you can do. Even as a person, there are gifting in you that you need to begin to think about. Maybe you can teach, maybe you can sing, maybe you can develop some gifting in you that can bring you money. Maybe you are very good in cooking or baking. You can start doing those things so that as you grow in that area, you can either quit your job or look for another one. Those are your 2 options. Either do something by the side through which you can get money and invest, or quit that job and look for another one that can give you time to think and that can give you more room to invest. So I think on this note, I'm going to just be rounding up. It's just to let you know that this journey of wealth creation is practicing what we have learned. That is most important. Getting ourselves being financially literate, attending to some of this training I talk about, conferences and reading, is number 1 step to take. But by the time you attend all of these courses, training, there are things that you are taught. The most important thing is that we ensure that we are practicing those things. It does not matter how little we can do at a time, but each time we are making progress. We are making progress so that we are not tied down on a job that perpetuates poverty for our lives. This is how far I can go today. As I conclude and round up, I want to remind you that this platform is to inspire you in 3 key areas: wealth creation, wellness, and well-nourished soul. Remember, you don't have to choose between being wealthy and healthy. You can have the 2 as icing on the cake of a well-nourished soul. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to share the link with your friends and your family. Please do not forget to subscribe by pressing the notification button so that you can be notified right away once a new episode is produced. Thank you again, and until I come your way next time, my name is Remi Wesley Ogude. Take care and bye.